Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I know I haven't been on this space for so long. बहुत कोशिश किया पहले हर दफ़ा I have managed to fail in showing up here. But this time I feel a bit more motivated, maybe a bit more ready. I think I wasn't ready before. Let's see how that goes. But if you want to follow along this journey, then please hit that subscribe button. Share this experience with me because मैं बहुत explore करने वाली हूँ, बहुत experiment करने वाली हूँ. I'm going to start out as a noob content creator over here. So you can honestly expect anything because I will be trying every and anything. पहले मैंने सोचा कि मैं एक strategy रखती हूँ, उसी को follow करती हूँ. But I feel like I will discover my path and what I want to do on this platform. I really want to go through this phase, get past this phase, and really understand what I want to do here because I definitely do want to do it. And I would really like that you भी मुझे feedback दें और मुझे बताएं कि what is it that you want to hear from me or see from me. And I think this way maybe we can, find a balance between what I like to do here and what you like to see here, and then we can create something on this channel. Anyway, so I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and that I will answer them here on YouTube. So I don't even need to see my phone for two questions because वो मुझे इतने ज़्यादा आते हैं, so I'm just gonna go ahead and answer the two most asked questions. So the first one is, why did I quit dentistry? And is that something that I regret? So first of all, I didn't actually quit dentistry. It kind of got left behind because basically I was working at a clinic. I left that clinic and then COVID happened. तो हुआ ये कि COVID में obviously nobody was hiring new doctors, right? In fact layoffs हो रहे थे, सब कुछ बंद हो रहा था. So nobody wanted to add another doctor. तो वो timing बहुत गलत होगी कि मैंने clinic छोड़ा और दूसरा ज्वाइन करने से पहले या कहीं अप्लाई करने से पहले कोविड आ गया. That's when that ship kind of sailed for me. I had been taking content creation very seriously from a long time before that, but it had become more professional for me in the sense that it was starting to make an income for us. This was becoming a more professional thing. So I started hiring a team, building an office, doing things more properly on this end. So all my focus and energy sort of went to this side. So with that not happening and this happening, somewhere in the middle, dentistry got left behind. But is it something that I love doing? Yes, I did really enjoy it while I did. Will I go back to it? I might, if I feel like it's calling me again, if I feel like I want to do it again. I will definitely, even if that means that I have to start from scratch. And do I regret? No. So I generally don't regret things. I know that everything happens for a reason. I know that I put in a lot of time, money, energy and effort into dentistry and that was my field, but I don't do anything just because it's supposed to be done or should be done. If I do something, I do it, fully and with my heart and because I want to, not because I'm supposed to or should have to. And I also feel that a lot of things, बिकॉज हमारा व्यू बहुत लिमिटेड होता है अबाउट लाइफ और हम चीज़ों को बहुत ब्लैक एंड वाइट और स्ट्रेट उसमें देखते हैं, बट नॉट एवरी थिंग इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द रीजन्स यू थिंक इट इज़. मे बी आई हैड टू एंड अप गोइंग टू दैट डेंटल कॉलेज बिकॉज ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ अदर experiences that I gathered from there that were an important part of my journey. Maybe it was more than that. Maybe it was the people I was going to meet. Maybe it was the city I was going to be in. Maybe it was everything that transpired in that place and at that time was maybe a more integral part of my journey than the degree of dentistry itself. Everything is essentially a part of your journey and your story that you don't see because again your view is very limited. Alright, the second main question obviously that I'm getting is about my hijab, why I decided to do it. Although I wanted to do like a separate video on this, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and share it here. Again, I don't do anything just because you're supposed to do them, just because you should. So for me, actually this is something that I had never thought of doing. I had never even planned on doing it. I will eventually do it or whatever, but it was something that kind of happened on its own. So for the past 2 years, I've had a strange kind of softening of my heart. I performed 2 umrahs. I was very inclined towards healing and doing a lot of shadow work or like spiritual work. तो मैंने उस सारे sort of journey के अंदर my sort of ego died and my spiritual side sort of became higher. So the higher your ego, the lower your spirituality, and the higher your spirituality, the lower your ego. But I did feel, however, that in the past 2 years, in my sort of healing journey and my self-love journey, I felt a huge submission happening on the inside, a submission to Allah Ta'ala, and feeling very modest and soft and sort of like a lot of humility in my heart. And somehow that has manifested on the outside without me even realizing how it happened. A lot of the times you feel like we're the ones always communicating with Allah Ta'ala, asking Him for things, or like, starting a conversation with Him. But a lot of the times I feel like He's always communicating with us through signs or through the thoughts He puts in our heads. So in this case, I literally felt like I never started this dialogue with Him or this conversation with Him that, I want to wear this, or anything about this, or should I wear this. It came on its own. Literally, it crept into my mind in the middle of the night while I was praying, Hamna, you should cover your head now. So I literally feel like it just came straight from up there. There is no religious thing where I felt like, oh, it's a commandment that I have to do it, ya ek farz hai mujhe karna hai. It was just a very spiritual connection where I felt, okay, the modesty that I feel inside my heart is kind of now coming out on the outside. It's just manifesting out on the outside. Once this thought landed in my head, from my heart into my subconscious to my conscious, it made its way. It just wouldn't let me go, and I couldn't not do it. I just had to pursue this thought because it just wouldn't leave me. I did find it challenging. It is a very hard thing to do, but it's something that I felt drawn towards, that I wanted to do, genuinely wanted to do. And doing it on social media, I think, while being a public figure, definitely made it very, very hard, but I decided to follow what I felt, and that's just who I am. Another question I got was that, will I ever take it off? I might take it off. Reason being that if it's something that I don't feel internally, then I will not have it externally. So for me, it's really important to understand the value and meaning of something first before you actually do it. And if I feel like, under say, I don't feel that kind of humility or that kind of modesty, this sort of beautiful piece of cloth means, then I'm going to take it off, because I don't see the purpose in doing something externally if the internal is not feeling it, right? So I'm not going to do any action because I'm supposed to do an action when I don't have the correct intention for it, or when I don't feel it on the inside. I know tens and thousands of people who are better than me, but they don't cover their head. They might have more humility, more modesty, and more just, they might just be better people. So this doesn't make me better than anyone else. This might be a very naive thought. The thing is, I don't want to influence anyone in this area, because my thought could be very naive, it could be very wrong. But this is my honest thought, right? So I had to share it that way over here. If I feel like mere andar resentment paida ho rahi hai, I would never risk ruining my relationship with the hijab, then I will take it off and hopefully find my way towards it again. So I have a question here. What's your ultimate vision in life, and how exactly are you planning to achieve it? Well, my ultimate vision in life is that when I look at my life and how I want it to look like, is that I'm raising good humans, I have my family with me, I have a good relationship with my spouse and my children, and I'm raising them the right way. And I have a business that I have built, which is a big business and has a lasting impact or a legacy that I can leave behind. And I also am a writer of a book and I have a published book because I love writing. I'm much better at writing than I am at speaking. And so I do eventually want to write a book, and I think that's the ultimate vision or the ultimate dream. How I plan to achieve it, I don't know. I think I'm slowly going to, I am slowly somewhere in the back of my head taking baby steps in an unconscious way towards it, because I have that vision. And I think there's always a time to take a step towards something. Usse pehle aap jitna bhi try karo, you are not there yet, like you haven't arrived, and I will know when I have arrived to a point where I can start taking more tangible steps towards these things. I think right now I have a lot of daydreaming to do and a lot of sort of dwelling over these visions before I can make it happen. I've been married since 3 years. I really want to know, how do you guys cope up with fights and arguments? All right, so for arguments, I just want to say that, they're always going to be there. They're always going to happen in your relationship and any marriage, okay? It's going to have its up and down. Sometimes you guys are going to be like in the thick of it, and that's when it's going to get tough, and you will get tough with each other, and it's going to be hard. But no matter what the situation is, and like when you're in the thick of it, it's so important to remember that like you're a team. Whenever you face a problem, remember that the problem actually does not exist between you guys. It is a problem that your marriage is facing. So it's you guys and a problem, and you both have to figure out how to resolve this problem, because you're the team against this problem. So how do you find a way to solve it? That means that you're going to have discussions and arguments on the best solution towards solving this problem. So in your arguments and fights, remember to have a problem solving approach. And I think it's very essential that for couples to realize that a lot of the times you are projecting a lot of your own unhealed issues and a lot of unhealed traumas that are being triggered by whatever situation that you're facing at hand. So something is happening or something has occurred and it's actually triggered one of you or triggered both of you, and that's where all your projection starts. So it's important to learn to regulate and also regulate your partner and be like, listen, like we need to think about this and take like time outs to pause and give each other space to figure out, you know, how you wanna resolve this. Arguments and fights are absolutely normal, and there will be times in your life when you're having a lot of them, and then there will be times in your life when you're not fighting at all. Both of them are okay. But remember to communicate with each other, be honest in your communication, and never cross certain lines. Like, some lines when it comes to arguments and fights should not be crossed, which only you can define in how your relationship is, what your general values are, you know. So there's some things that we, like Muzammil and I, we never use abusive language with each other, even when we're like really mad at each other. That's just a line that we don't cross. Like, you both don't want to say things that you don't actually mean, you know, and you don't want to end up hurting that other person by saying something that you don't really mean. And it's also important to understand the issue that is happening right now. Is it the issue or is it your feelings related to that issue? And maybe your partner can help you understand what that is and whether that issue needs to be resolved or your feelings about it need to be addressed, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to marry this year. Any tips for successful and happy married life? I'm scared by looking other people around me, they feel not happy after 2-3 years. I think expectations for marriage really need to be correct and they need to be managed. Again, life is not always going to be butterflies and whatever do you say? Rainbows and butterflies. And the only person you're going to be experiencing every hard and easy moment is your partner. So having that expectation for them to be performing perfectly through everything that they're going through and you're going through is not fair. Expecting sparks flying all the time, butterflies all the time is not fair. What you need to be looking for in a relationship, especially after 1 year, 2 years, when you've crossed that honeymoon phase, is a very calm sort of love, which is a nurturing sort of stable love. Who needs stability, security, an unspoken love language when you have crossed a certain amount of years, maybe 2 or 3. But you have to show up for each other in love languages that the other person understands and appreciates. You have to communicate, you have to build trust, you have to respect each other. And I feel like when those things are there, when you can be the source of comfort and joy for your partner, and make an effort into being that person, like be the person who brings joy to your partner, that brings comfort to your partner, that shows up for them, you know. It's really important, and that should happen both ways, to just take care of each other. I think, you know, you should be okay. I don't know what people mean by whether they're happy after 2-3 years. It's about what kind of happiness they're looking for. But I think the happiness anybody looks for in a partner is support, is respect, is love, is comfort, and not whether we go out on dates, or whether we give gifts to each other, or whether we, you know, have fun all the time, or there's a sparks flying all the time. Love matures over time, and that's how you should be sort of like seeing it, I guess. Okay, so what you don't like about Dubai? So Dubai is like a very hyper capitalistic city, and it's a very rat racy. It's very like who lives where and who wears what, you know, the Bibling vibes, which I don't like. I just don't like to be part of any kind of rat race, and the reason for that is that when you participate in a rat race or a competition like this, there is no end to it. So what happens is that because there is no end to it, you start losing your integrity and your core values just to stay ahead. And for me, it's not worth participating in any kind of rat race if you're going to lose your integrity or core values. And once you step into it and participate in it, it's very easy to get attached again to your ego and to those things and do that. Sure, like choose for yourself. If you want a better lifestyle, better life, do it for yourself, not for like anybody else. You can choose to earn millions and spend millions and buy anything you want, but just remember your approach towards it. It should just be for yourself, not because you're competing with the next person. And I feel like Dubai has that kind of environment, and it's also very like sort of dystopian and strange because there's like one side of Dubai, with a lot of like the laborers and all of that, and then there's the other side of Dubai which is like overly fancy and overly done. Um, and that just creeps me out a little bit. Being a strong, independent girl, I find the concept of marriage scary. Any advice? I get it. I think we've heard so many horror stories when it comes to marriages. It can be a very, very scary and daunting and intimidating thing. And obviously, like whenever you are sort of looking for a partner, it's somebody you're spending your whole life with, and there's only so much that is in your control or in your hands. Like you could say, I did everything, and whether you had a love marriage or an arranged marriage, you could feel like you went through the process perfectly and you feel like you found the perfect person. Anything could happen. Like even today, alhamdulillah, I'm very happy with my marriage, but anything can happen, right? So at the end of the day, it's always going to be a gamble, like any other decision in life. But it's amazing to have support. It's amazing to have companionship. It's amazing to have somebody who you can rely on. It's amazing to have someone in your life so that you can be well for yourself. It's amazing to be able to give to someone that support and that wellness, and thrive together, build an empire together. I mean, nobody in this world can do it all alone. Like, I think at the end of the day, as humans, we do seek some kind of companionship. And I know that it's scary, but do the best you can to find the right person and then make that decision and go for it. I have another question here, which is about, how to navigate an arranged marriage situation, like how to find someone through arranged marriage. Arranged marriage can be great. And actually arranged marriage sort of is a very great thing, because what it does is that you're not wearing rose tinted glasses or like love goggles when you are deciding deciding to spend your life with someone. When you're having a love marriage or वो बहुत पुरानी relationship हो, तो you tend to have a lot of bias towards this person, और वो बड़े भी हो जाते हैं, you don't see the red flags. In an arranged marriage, you have no, your decision is not emotional, it's very logical. So it's a big plus us tarah se. But when you're entering into arranged marriage, it's important to ask your partner the right questions about their, I think if there's anything that you need to look for in your partner, is that you are aligned in your core values. What are the values that are important to you, and what are the values that are important to them? Because down the road, the only one thing that's going to matter to you is whether your partner respects the things that you care the most about, the values that you care the most about. You will feel invalidated and unhappy when you don't feel respected in that area of your life. It doesn't matter what they do, but it really does matter whether they respect the most important parts of you. So the person has to be respectful, they have to be supportive, they have to be secure. Like, it's so important to have somebody who is secure in themselves, who does not have insecurities and possessive issues or a possessive mindset. You have to have freedom, who can see you as an individual, not as a property. They should see you as a partner who is equal. That is very important. Share your life in Dubai. How is it different from Pakistan? So it's very different from Pakistan, because in Pakistan we had a big house. We had a team for our content creation work. We had a lot of house help doing everything. We don't have a car here. We have to take public transport or walk or take the cab everywhere we go. The house is like really small. It's a small apartment. हमारे खर्चे बहुत ज़्यादा हैं यहाँ पर. This place is really, really expensive. Like, we can't eat out here. वहाँ पर we used to eat out all the time. We used to go out all the time. We're just kind of home all the time here, because we can't afford to just spend a lot here. So definitely different, but यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा safety है. यहाँ पर I feel secure. I can go out on my own, do a lot of things. There's so many things for Raphael to do, so many opportunities all the time. Whole environment बहुत अच्छी है. We love exploring. We love going out on parks. So I do really enjoy this life over here, and I feel more at peace here. I feel more comfortable here. I feel happier here, even though I had everyone to do everything for me in Pakistan. and वहाँ पर हम अमीर हैं, यहाँ पर हम गरीब हैं. But I am more happy here. But alhamdulillah, also we are very comfortable here. We are living a very good life here as well. So I mean, it would be wrong to say I'm यहाँ गरीब है, but उतने नहीं अमीर जहाँ जितने हम पाकिस्तान में थे. And I guess that's a challenge, but we're definitely happier here. What are the small acts that you do that have a positive impact on your life? So, quite a few things I do that have a positive impact on my life. I think the fact that I have more control in my life here makes me happy in the way that I lead my house, manage my house, do things. I think moving to Dubai has given me that agency that I felt I had lost. You know, when you have a lot of people sort of working for you and helping you, you do lose agency as well. You know, I have regained that here. So that, cooking, cleaning my house, doing things, it makes me happy. It's very therapeutic for me. Prayer is probably probably tops the list, because for me, prayer is okay, it's an act of worship, but it's definitely an act of meditation, more so for me, because prayer comes like 5 times during the day and it comes at the perfect time. I actually posted about this on Insta as well. You know, when you wake up and you go about your day and you're doing things, a lot of stuff happens. Like, you know, one after the other, you're having thoughts, you're having feelings, things are happening, you're doing this, you have a long list of things you have to do. And it kind of like piles on, right? And you also, like, if especially if it's not going in the best way, it piles on and it spills over as well around you. So एक chain reaction सा बनता जाता है based on what you did and then what it made you feel, and then it affects your next action, and then it affects your next thought, and it affects your next action, and there's like a chain reaction going on. What namaz does for me, it's a meditation, because when I'm having like my day is going, I'm having a chain reaction, I'll be like, oh, Zuhar ka time ho gaya, I will go and I will pray, and suddenly I'm going to break that chain. I'm going to go say my namaz and leave and dump everything on the prayer mat, take a moment of deep breath, and then then continue my day after I've left everything there. So it just comes at the perfect time during the day where if it's piling up, I'll go leave it on the prayer mat, start again. Go leave it on the prayer mat, start again. So it's a meditation because it gives me the pause or the calmness in life that you don't get otherwise, because you're just like, okay, one thing, next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. So yeah, and I feel like ever since social media, ever since like scrolling or Instagram or TikTok, our triggers are a lot more, and we don't even realize why we feel funky or sad or weird on the inside, because something has triggered us and we can't even understand it. So just go, leave it on the prayer mat, move on. Another thing that I do is that I journal. I write my positive affirmations, gratitude lists every single day. It's really helpful for me. Another thing that I do is that I plan my day, so it gives me a lot of clarity. The thing is, I like to be feeling very sorted on the inside. So basically, all of these things give me clarity and control in my life, which has a positive impact. What's your take on tahajjud? It's the most beautiful and the best thing ever. Because when you wake up for tahajjud and you pray, you just feel like it's just you. It's like quiet, it's calm, it's dark, it's just you and Allah Ta'ala. And it feels like a very direct line of communication because there's no outward noise. Like, that's what you've woken up for, that's what you're doing, there's nothing else you have to do. And also, you know, Allah Ta'ala says how whoever wakes up for tahajjud, I send my angels to literally ask that person, okay, what do you want? You've woken up for tahajjud, what do you want? I will give it to you. And tahajjud literally works like that. If you want something badly, just wake up for tahajjud and ask for it, and you will see it unfold in your life like a miracle. I'm going to share all the baby related stuff, I think, in another video altogether, because there's so many like parenting related questions, and I think I'll just take them separately. Okay. Is the influencer career too saturated now for newcomers? I think people who start off early definitely have that advantage where they are more well known, where they are, you know, क्या उससे कहते हैं, first movers advantage होता है उनके पास. And I do think that for new people, it's definitely a challenge to be discovered when it's so saturated. It's difficult to stand out. But at the same time, I feel like while it's saturated, it's a lot more acceptable now. It's a bigger industry now, so there are a lot of things that are actually much smoother than they were before. So you don't have to carve a path. It's not an undiscovered path anymore. The path is out there for you to take. which is another advantage that people have now. However, there is saturation, I feel, in the way that people create content. And I think while it is saturated, you can set yourself apart by bringing your niche and your authenticity and doing something new and different. At the end of the day, while it is a saturated industry now, where I guess it's very hard to become big, but it's definitely easy to become an influencer. And now there's so many brands and people, wanting to work with you. The business is set for influencers. So I think there's still a lot of opportunity there. It's still booming. It's a pretty crazy industry now, and there's a lot of like discovery that you can do. There's a lot of stuff that you can bring to the table, and there's a lot of money that you can make in the industry. Anyway, so I think that's a lot of questions. Actually, that's not a lot of questions, but that's a lot of talking for now. I don't know how much you guys enjoy me just speaking into the camera and talking to you. Please let me know if that is something that you like, because if you will tell me, then I will do it. If you don't tell me, then I will not do it. Trust me, right now I am exploring, so I will be seeing the views and the likes and the feedback. Help me out, help me understand what you guys want to see, what you like, because मुझे फिर से feel होता है I'm just sitting here rambling, nobody actually cares, or I'm just sitting here and just giving a bhashan, so I need to know from you if this is something that you care about, you want to listen to, and I will do more of it. Because some people just don't watch sit and talk videos, right? So I will be doing sit and talk videos, I will be doing vlogs, I will be doing all kinds of stuff, and then you have to tell me what you like. I will do more of that. All right. So thank you for tuning in to this YouTube video. Inshallah, I will be making more. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave your comments. We'll be coming up with something new, something radical, something strange, something funny, something serious. I don't know. And I will see you again next time. Allah Hafiz.